Welcome to Play by Play Productions. Today is just going to be a quick touch on the men's and women's Final Four, and then my prediction for the two national championship games. Let's jump right into it. All right, so I'm just going to go over the women's side of March Madness, and then I'll jump into the men's side. So I know the first game was South Carolina versus NC State. South Carolina is going for what I believe is their third national championship, which would be like a dynasty for them. If you can get like just one championship is good, but going for three, that's obviously a dynasty. I believe they ended the regular season undefeated, so they're a strong favorite to win the whole entire thing. I filled out a bracket and I had them winning the whole thing. They're just, I've don't watch a ton of basketball until about this time. So, I predicted them to win, and honestly, I'll go over the other game, but I believe South Carolina will get their third national championship, and they'll be considered a dynasty for women's basketball. Three is incredible. Let alone just trying to get one is already hard enough, but getting three, you're on a whole another level there. They just, I didn't watch the game. I wasn't able to watch it yesterday, but by the looks of the score, they just dominated NC State 78-59. South Carolina is just on a whole nother level there with the recruiting and the players they have coming off the bench, and then their starting five. I think NC State had a heck of a season, making it all the way to the Final Four, and they just hit that inevitable brick wall, the one seed that was South Carolina, and that was it for them. But so the next game was the late game, which was Iowa versus UConn. Iowa's in 1 seed, and UConn was a 3 seed. Same with NC State and South Carolina, but this was a really close game. Again, I didn't watch. I watched like maybe the third quarter. It seemed like a really great game. Iowa pulled it off. They won by 2, 71-69. We can touch on like the greatness that is Caitlin Clark. She's on just a different level for women's basketball, and even I feel like she'd be great on a men's team. Like, she's just a great basketball player, and she's gonna play for a long time in the WNBA, and she's gonna have a great career there. But yeah, UConn, they have a great team, always, men's and women's. But Iowa just played a better game than UConn, and they're moving on. So yeah, that's that. I did see today that Sarah Strong committed to UConn. She's number 1 prospect in the 2024 class for women's basketball, so they'll be adding her to their team. I know for a fact they'll be back in the Final Four again next season. UConn always has great teams, so I think adding, the number 1 prospect in the 2024 class will definitely help you get to the Final Four and then probably beyond, because, UConn, again, just a basketball school there, but that's that. So we have South Carolina versus Iowa in the national championship tomorrow, which is tomorrow afternoon, I believe. to be completely honest, I think that South Carolina is gonna get their third national championship and be that dynasty in women's basketball. You know, I would like to see Caitlin Clark get a ring, but I just think that North or South Carolina is just too dominant of a team to allow that to happen. I know Caitlin's had a heck of a career at Iowa. She's set new records and broken records and done a lot of incredible things at Iowa. So hats off to her for everything that she's done there. I know I was in the national championship last year and they lost to LSU. They got a little redemption and beat them in the Elite Eight this season, but I think again they're just gonna run into a more dominant team. That's South Carolina, and I don't think that they're gonna be able to get past them for that national championship. It would be their first in program history there for the women's team. Again, that would really help Caitlin show that she's one of the greatest women basketball players of all time if she got her national championship. But I think that she's set so many records and, broken other records. A national championship would just add on to her resume that she's done college basketball. But I think South Carolina will get this one. So yeah, that's my prediction for the women's side. Going over to the men's side, we got Purdue versus NC State, and then UConn versus Alabama. NC State has had a heck of a run this March, and I think they're just gonna, unfortunately, just run out of gas, I guess, and not be able to get past Purdue. If they do, they're gonna have to play just on a whole nother level to get past Purdue. But I think Purdue's playing really great basketball right now, and I think Purdue will advance to the national championship. And then the later game is Alabama versus UConn. Again, Alabama being a 4 seed, I guess you can say it's been an incredible run to get to the Final Four, but that's a pretty high seed, so you kind of expect at least the Elite Eight from a 4 seed, maybe Sweet 16, but here they are in the Final Four. Honestly, I didn't see them making it this far, so I guess you could say it's a great run, but UConn is just again on a whole nother level there. They just dominated their whole way through this March Madness tournament. I think they've beaten everybody they've played in March by at least 30 or something like that. I saw that. I could be wrong about that, but they just dominated their whole way through this. So my prediction is going to be UConn Purdue. I think a national championship game. I'd like to watch these games to see how both teams play in the Final Four games, but I'm going to have to give it to UConn. I think they're going to go back to back. Just the way they've played all March kind of says a whole lot about how great they are. I think UConn is going to win it. They'll go back to back. It'd probably be a really close game. It'd be interesting to see how Zach Edey would play in this game if this were to happen. But, he's like 7'6" or something like that. He's a ginormous fella. I think this one would be a really good game. Just how dominating UConn has been through March is leads me to think that they're going to get this win and would be back-to-back national champions. You guys are welcome to drop your predictions down in the comments. Again, I don't really watch a ton of basketball until now, so it's kind of hard to really say. I thought I filled out a bracket, filled out a couple of them. I had one that UConn won the whole thing. I think a lot of people have UConn winning it all. Just the way they play, and it's incredible to watch. They're a really good team. Purdue's a really good team. NC State had a magical run. I think there's some things they could do to win and beat Purdue, which would be fun to see. I would like to see that. I just can't foresee that happening. I just think Purdue's way too good. Again, Alabama, they could very easily beat UConn. They just have to play a really solid game, which I'm not saying they couldn't do. They very easily can. Alabama's they played a really great game against Clemson in the Elite Eight. So yeah, they very well could, move on to the national championship, but I just don't see that happening. That's really my thought on that. You're all welcome again to drop your thoughts or predictions down in the comments. You can tell me I'm really wrong, which I probably am, because I don't watch a ton of basketball, but that's just how I feel about how this Final Four is going to go, and then the national championship. So that was quickly the video I kind of want to do today. It's been a while since I've made one, but yeah, there's not a ton going on. I know baseball just started. NBA playoffs are coming up. NHL playoffs are coming up, which I'm really excited for. I think that's the best time of the year when the playoffs are going in NHL. The Masters are starting, I think, next week. I love the Masters. That's always a good one. The NFL draft is coming up. I can talk more about that here. I know everybody knows what's going to happen at 1. Bears are obviously going to take Caleb Williams. 2 and 3, there's a lot of question marks about. I just saw something the other day or today. Patriots don't know if they're going to take a quarterback. I really don't know why they would not want to take a quarterback, which could possibly be a franchise-changing player. I think this is a really deep class to go get a quarterback. I don't know why you wouldn't want to. Yeah, that's kind of that. I saw the Bears and the Jets may trade down from 9 and 10. I don't know for sure what they would, like the Bears, I don't know what they would do if they traded down, who they would go for. I think they could get a receiver. This class is super deep at receiver. They also need help on the defensive side of the ball. They need help at offensive line. I don't know how super deep it is at the O-line position, so that could be something they avoid until the later rounds, or they may think they're good at receivers, so they don't want to draft a receiver if they don't need to, and they could trade back and do something different. I would like to see them, if they don't draft a receiver, hopefully they would go defensive side of the ball. I think there's a lot of great defensive players that can help the Bears, which they need a lot of help. I really, fingers crossed that Caleb Williams pans out like people are saying. I know every single year they someone always says someone's going to pan out at like the top 5 in quarterback, and then some of them don't, like Zach Wilson, for an example. He's awful. I don't know what the Jets were thinking at 3 there when they took him, but whatever. And then you always get guys like CJ Stroud who you're unsure of, and then they become these huge stars. It's pretty exciting to see the Texans make a move and go get Stephon Diggs. I think that's a huge piece for them. It seems like the Bills' championship window is closed, like quickly closed after getting rid of Diggs. I can only imagine how Josh Allen feels right now after that one. They were a really great team. I think they were only a couple pieces away from advancing, but seemed like it was time to move on from Stephon, which really to me doesn't make a ton of sense. I don't know how everyone else feels about it. You can, again, drop your thoughts down there about that one. I haven't really seen a lot of NFL news going on. What else did I see? I don't know. It's just a quick video since I haven't done one in a few months. Just trying to just figure out what I wanted to do today. But yeah, hopefully, like when it gets closer to the draft, I'll have more on that. Hopefully I'm right on these predictions for the Final Four and then the national championship games. We shall see. No way an expert in any of this. I just do this for fun. So I have a very strong passion for sports, I'm just doing it for fun. So I got nothing else to do. I hope you guys enjoy. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, comment and anything you'd like to see me talk about and any other news. There's not really a ton going on right now. It's hard with football is usually the biggest thing you can talk about. Once the NHL playoffs get going, we can talk about that, and I'll kind of do a bracket or something. I know the NHL usually does brackets for that, and when the NBA playoffs come, we can talk about that. But that's all I have for now, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.